Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about the raw truth of appointment setting in high ticket sales. Because most of the time when you look it up, when you watch videos and content on it, people only talk about the sunshine and rainbows that come with it, how great it is, and they glorify the industry. But not many people actually talk about the realities of it, the tough times, the challenges, the things you do have to go through that people get blindsided by. So we're going to go over that today. As you can see here, I haven't shaved in a couple days, so I will be getting rid of that tomorrow. I look like a Shaolin monk, kind of, or a Chinese gangster, but yeah, let's get rid of that tomorrow, but we're gonna get into this as well, this video. My name is Matt Jacob, and I've been an appointment setter for about 2 years now, and I've also done some high ticket closing. I've hopped on closing gigs, and I've also done some high ticket closes for the offers I was currently on. Now I run a coaching program helping other people get into the space and fast track their success, so if you're interested, link in the description to apply. But anyways, the raw truth about appointment setting, the raw truth about high ticket sales. The first thing I'm going to say is the difficulty of landing an offer. So for a lot of people nowadays, they say it's very difficult to land an offer. And I see why they're saying that, because it's grown massively over the past 1 to 2 years. I've seen it happen in real time. Everyone and their favorite influencer, this guru next door, they're glorifying high ticket sales. They're talking about become a high ticket closer, work on your laptop, develop the skill. They're talking about appointment setting too, how it's so easy. And it has definitely attracted a lot of people into this space for the right reasons, you know, and I myself am a walking testimony to that. But what comes with that too is a bunch of people saying how hard it is nowadays to land good offers. I say good offers because anyone can get an offer, but it might not be that good. The earning potential might not be there. There's a lot of brunt work that has to be done. And I'm not excusing hard work. I'm not saying don't work hard and find an offer that just lets you coast for about 1 to 2 hours a day. I'm not saying that. But there's an issue I have with the offers that makes you put all this time and effort into doing something like cold outbound, for example, for a business that's not even functioning, right? And they expect to outsource the DM setting to someone and hope and pray that they don't leave the company or get unsatisfied. They just pray, they just shut up and do the work. Okay, so that's the first issue I have with it, is that there's a lot of companies out there, not to mention the Facebook group scam opportunities where people, I've heard this time and time again, people will go on Facebook, they'll join Facebook groups, they'll get offers for appointment setting positions, and it ends up being scam offers, or it ends up being some Ponzi scheme. Now, there are ways to combat this. Now, one of the first and best things you can do is go through my channel, learn how to do outreach properly, learn how much volume it takes, how to set up your profiles, how to actually catch the attention and where to look for high quality business owners so you can land a good appointment setting position. Start getting some interviews booked in on your calendar if you are starting at step 1. So you can go through my channel. I have a ton of free content on that. I've been around the block for a couple of years now, so I have a good catalog of content you can check out. But that's one of the things you can do. The second thing you can do is be different, do something different. Again, I go through that on my channel, on my free content. Look up most powerful outreach method, which is linked up here, okay? So that's the first thing about appointment setting and high ticket sales. Even more so difficult for high ticket sales because everyone nowadays is looking for an experienced closer. Whereas 1 to 2 years ago, people were okay with you being a newbie. Even if you were just starting out, they were willing to train you up. They were willing to take the time out of their day, time out of their business to make sure you're up to speed and then help you take your first few calls. Nowadays, while they still do exist, I think a lot more people nowadays are looking for more experienced closers where they can just plug them in the business and then just start closing deals and start earning commission within the first 7 days, okay? That's how much more competitive it's gotten, okay? So if you're starting out, maybe it's best to get into appointment setting first, earn your stripes there, and then move up to high ticket closing. So the second truth about this industry is how much brunt work it takes, how much hard work and effort it takes, especially if you're just starting out with no experience, especially when you're on an offer where it requires for you to put in more work and it's not all inbound DMs, okay? Because sometimes you just have to go through that, it's a candidate event. But the biggest thing I think people do not talk about in this space is how much work you actually have to put in. Yes, like I said, the remote aspect is nice. The financial freedom once you get to that point is nice, trust me. But in the beginning, it can be extremely difficult. It's not all traveling around, it's not all moving from place to place. That comes with it, but it's just most of the time when you're appointment setting, most of your work is gonna be done on the laptop, on here, typing messages, replying to people, sending follow-ups, replying to more people, sending outreach, doing follow-ups, and the cycle just repeats over and over again. And it is a money printer for sure, but it's not all glam and glitz, okay? So That's with appointment setting with high ticket sales. You're hopping on, especially if it's a busy offer, especially if it's an offer with a lot of high earning potential and there's a lot of calls in the calendar. Most of your day is just going to be on the phone, on the laptop, taking calls back to back sometimes. And then a lot of people, they get burnt out on sales calls. Now there's ways you can mitigate this, like sleeping well, eating healthy, etc. But let's face it, I've been on back-to-back calls many times, sometimes 3 calls, 4 calls. I know some people watching have also gone through that as well. Non-stop talking at the laptop for several hours, and it does burn you out to an extent. Okay, so that is what comes with it, guys. It's not all travel, working in cafes, just spending your money shopping and not doing any work. That's not the case. And it's even more difficult sometimes for people in different time zones. So let me explain. When you're in the US and the UK, most of the time you're going to be working for a US UK company or somewhere in the West. So you can adapt to their time zones. You're taking calls most likely in the afternoon. Your work is most likely in the afternoon or morning or whenever, right? But let's say you're in a place like Southeast Asia, which I'm in the Philippines, and I've had to do appointment setting full time. Well, I was out in Thailand. When I was still out in Thailand before I came to Philippines, I was appointment setting full time, and I had to adjust to US based timing. And that meant late nights and early mornings working. And I didn't mind that. I mean, that's the life I signed up for, but that can be a difficulty for some people. So if that's something that's too much for you, maybe don't get into the space, maybe think twice. But if you're willing to make the adjustments, then go ahead and do it, because you will reap the rewards, okay? Another raw truth about this space is the ups and downs that come with it. Now, more so with the business, you do have those severe ups and downs simply because you're responsible for different hats, you're responsible for different operations, marketing, sales, offer, even with a team, even if you have a team, you're responsible for keeping that team accountable and performing high. But when you are appointment setting, when you're in high ticket sales, when you're in appointment setting, when you're in high ticket sales, the ups and downs can hit you, especially if you're not used to it. You can go 1 week, you're closing 3, 4 out of 4, 5 out of 5 deals, like back to back. You're absolutely on fire. You're getting piffs back to back. You feel like you're Jordan Belfort. You feel like you're on top of the world and no one can touch you. And then the next week, you go 0 for 5. You go 0 for 6. You go 1 for 7. You're not getting piffs. You're getting unqualified leads. Okay, and then that F's up your mind, trust me. It F's up your mind. You start feeding yourself into these delusions of, maybe I'm not good enough, I don't know what I'm doing, what am I doing wrong, like I'm so rusty this week. Most of the time it's probably not even that. It's just the business. That's just how the world works. That's just how the industry works. That's just how this game works, guys. Yes, there's things, as I said, this is why you should be doing things like mock calls, call reviews, etc., where you can continuously hone in your craft, you can get better at what you do. Same with appointment setting. You could be on fire, book a ton of qualified meetings back to back, have like a record day where you book like 9 meetings in one day, which is amazing. I've had that before and it feels great. And then out of those meetings, you get your commission because they close, simply because you played into that numbers game. And then the following week, nothing, crickets. You're booking in unqualified leads. Your business owner is not happy. The closer is not happy. What are you doing, right? That's just what comes with the game, okay? So there's ups and downs, there's peaks and troughs. The best way you can handle that is just not even feeding into it. Don't give your attention into it. Just feed your attention on doing what you're doing, the things that's getting you where you are, the thing that's getting you the results. With appointment setting, that's gonna be continuously doing conversations, follow-ups, starting new ones, continuously doing over-the-shoulder appointment setting. If you don't know what that is, I'll link it up here. With high ticket sales, practicing the framework, doing more role play, doing more call reviews, and just getting the reps in, okay? Reps is usually the best way to combat this, but that's just how it is sometimes, okay? Ups, downs, lefts and rights. That's what people don't talk about, and sometimes it gets to people's heads, and you shouldn't, but I know it does sometimes, and it can get pretty hard. It's a good learning lesson, because life is just full of ups and downs, right? It's just full of ups and downs, full of rejection, full of no's, but it teaches you to keep searching for the no so that you get the yes that you're looking for and get rewarded for it, okay? It teaches you grit, it teaches you discipline, it teaches you to stay consistent and not get emotional, okay? So even then, you might see that as a problem, but you can also see it as a blessing in disguise, as a way to help you throughout life. That's why salespeople are some of the most resilient, most diligent, most hardworking people I've ever met, and the most level-headed, okay? So they've been thrown into the fire, ups and downs, doesn't get to them anymore, okay? So that's the truth. So yeah, guys, those are the truths that I can impart on you today. If there's any more I can come up with, feel free to comment it down below, or I can make a part 2. But that is the raw reality sometimes of appointment setting. That's the raw reality of getting into high ticket sales. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The lifestyle is great, don't get me wrong. The remote aspect is great. The money you can make is great, and the skills that you pick up is great as well, the connections. But I also need to give you an informed idea about the lows, about the things that's not so pretty, about how much hard work it takes sometimes, how much obsession it takes sometimes. Okay? Not sometimes, all the time. So if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next.